The one big beautiful bill that is now passed and signed into law, how does that impact immigrants? First thing is that a lot of the competitors of your business, if they have foreign corporations abroad, they're going to be pulling funds back into the US and they will be investing in their infrastructure. So if your competitive advantage against them is that you have an operation that they don't have and they're parking their funds overseas, be prepared for a major shakedown. Because the way this legislation is set up, companies are now going to pull funds from all around the world, all the tax havens, pulling it right back into the US. Why? A lot of the funds that are overseas will be taxed much higher, pretty much at the 21%. And then if you bring it back to the US, it's still about 21%. But the difference is you can expense a bunch of the funds, and therefore you don't have to pay a lot of taxes. Let's say you invest $100,000 in a remodeling. A small business spends $100,000 and remodels up the boba shop, nice and pretty. You can expense everything. You make $100,000, you spend $100,000, you pay zero in taxes. Voila. This bill is set up so that funds from all around the world will be pulled back into the US companies and preventing money from going out. If you have a company that is primarily making money and then sending the money abroad, you are at a disadvantage after this. And this applies to individuals too. Groups of immigrants that make a lot of money in the US, but they send a lot of it abroad. Now, boom, 1% tax on all the funds sent abroad. What is the key opportunity and advantage of this one big beautiful bill? For people who are on the visas, L1 visas, O1 visas, E2 visas, H1B visas, this is the opportunity to actually buy, build, position yourself to get good cash flow businesses that lack capital that you can remodel. So for example, laundromats. A lot of laundromats have gone out of business or is going out of business in the past few years, but it is a cash generating machine, but it takes a lot of capital expense to fix it up. So prior to the one big beautiful bill, not a great purchase necessarily. You really have to shop and find the diamond in the rough to find a good one that will make you profit. Now, you buy the business, you spend $50,000, $100,000, fix it up, you make $100,000, depreciate all of it, pay zero in taxes, and now for the rest of 10, 20 years, the revenue that it generates, you pocket that. If you have an L1 company, if you have an E2 company, if you have any company, your company can buy other companies, right? There's nothing that limits your company for only doing one particular service. So the opportunity now given by one big beautiful bill is that it is a time to buy, to build because of the tax advantages. A lot of people, when they're doing visas, one of the biggest complaints is that US employees are so expensive. Right? Salaries are just so expensive. The reality though, when you really drill them down, it's not the salary. It's the freaking taxes that's connected to the salary. Because every dollar you pay an employee, all the additional payroll tax and insurance and everything that goes on top of that. What this bill does is it actually creates a lot of programs where the employer can give money to the employees and the employees' families without being taxed. That is how this one big beautiful bill impacts business owners who are immigrants who are applying for the L1, E1, E2 visa categories. But how does it impact families? Right now, at least in the past 10, 20 years, can you get into a good college? Question one. Once you get in, do you want to go in debt to go to this college? That's question two. This bill makes it so that they limited the cap that the government is going to give to the loan applications. So you can have private loans from families. And if you want to go to grad school, the loan decreases even more. You might say, that's okay, doesn't affect me. But you have to think about what this will change for America in the future. Much less people will be able to afford colleges and therefore cannot go. Much less people will be able to go to grad schools and therefore cannot go. If you think the wealth disparity and the access and the opportunity is a lot now, it's going to be even greater then. Because the people who can afford to go to those universities most people won't be able to. The One Big Beautiful allows for more pathways for individual families to fund their children's education. For example, they created like the Trump account. It's like a brand new 529 college fund, essentially, to be able to let employers give money to their employees' children so that they can grow their tax savings, so that they can fund their college tuition or startup later on in the future. That is wonderful if you have the employer, if you are the employer, if you are wealthy already. So for wealthy families that don't need the loan from the government, a lot of new vehicles to transfer wealth to their children to go to these elite universities. It's gonna make the wealthy even wealthier. It's gonna make the companies who can make money have even more cash flow. It's gonna strengthen the strong. And so if you are capable, if you have the ability, if you've been in the US or the US is your home and you want to invest and you want to grow and build, this is the time to do it because it provided additional pathways for that. And if you don't come into the flow of the United States economy at this point, it's just going to get harder and harder and harder.